What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with RK Outpost, and after the news we got yesterday that Ghost of Tsushima had absolutely destroyed The Last of Us Part 2 sales record in Japan, we now have more good news for Sucker Punch and fans of this incredible game, and that is the fact that it is breaking worldwide sales records for the PlayStation 4. Sony announced it on their official Twitter, their PlayStation Twitter right here. PlayStation. Ghost of Tsushima is now PS4's fastest selling first-party original IP debut with more than 2.4 million units sold globally its first 3 days of sales. Congrats to Sucker Punch and thank you to the fans around the world for taking part in Jin's journey. Now, I have been playing a ton of this game. I will leave a link in the pinned comment to my Twitch channel, so if you want to go follow me on there and watch me do some playthroughs of this as well as a bunch of other things. But I am enjoying it so much. It gives you everything that you want in a samurai game. And it, ironically, unlike The Last of Us Part 2, it does a revenge story that everyone is really receptive towards. Now, we're going to get into the details about these numbers and what it means, but I just wanted to do a quick update like we do so often of the user score. Look at the Metacritic user score. 9.3. That is insanely high. That is higher than God of War. That is higher than Spider-Man PS4. It's almost up there with The Witcher. The Witcher is at 9.4, Ghost of Tsushima at 9.3, and we all know it's far, far above The Last of Us Part 2 because that was such a divisive game. There were people that loved The Last of Us Part 2. There were a lot of people that hated it. It is the definition of divisive, but not with this game. People are loving this game for all the right reasons. But I did want to go ahead and take a look at some of these articles right here. Ghost of Tsushima sells a staggering 2.4 million copies in just 3 days. Now, this is from Push Square, but we're full of articles like this because it is really shocking to people that this many are selling. Now, this gives you a good comparison to some other things, including Horizon Zero Dawn, which Horizon Zero Dawn was an incredible game, and Horizon Zero Dawn 2 is basically what they're trying to sell the PlayStation 5 with. That tells you how well received that game was. Look at some of these numbers. Ghost of Tsushima sold 2.4 million in its first 3 days. The samurai action game from Sucker Punch is now the fastest selling new intellectual property from Sony this generation. They didn't indicate what game it toppled, but everyone assumes it's Horizon Zero Dawn. Horizon Zero Dawn sold 2.6 million copies its first few weeks. So it took a couple weeks to sell 2.6, while Ghost has sold 2.4. And I think we have to look at all the factors surrounding this, and the idea that it's sold this many is kind of insane because this is the very end of the PlayStation 4 generation. I've had people in my comments, in my chats on Twitch, telling me that they're going to buy a PlayStation 4 just to play this game right now. At a time where PS5 is almost releasing. We are at the end of this generation. There's really not much of a reason to go out and buy a PS4 right now. But just to play this game, people are doing that. No one anticipated these type of sales. Ghost of Tsushima is selling out in Japan, exceeding Sony's expectations. Now, we talked about this a couple days ago too. The fact that you can't buy this game in Japan. It had to come out. The Japanese PlayStation Twitter came out and said, you can't buy it anywhere. We're working on production. We're sorry, but you can buy it digitally. Should be noted. None of these sales take into account digital. All these are copies shipped. That's an important thing to note, especially when we talk about The Last of Us Part 2 in comparison to this game. That number, that 4 million number that The Last of Us Part 2 had, that was copies shipped, not copies sold. We've seen the pictures of the stacks on stacks on stacks of The Last of Us Part 2 that they still have in stock in so many places around the world. You can go to your local GameStop. I went there today. No copies of Ghost of Tsushima. Plenty of new copies of The Last of Us Part 2 because they're simply not selling that well, but they were shipped that initial shipment. Ghost of Tsushima, several GameStop retailers are only ordering what their pre-orders were. They didn't even order any extra, so they are out. People cannot get their hands on this game. We talked about this article as well, and I pulled something up. Sony seriously underestimated the popularity of PlayStation 4 Ghost of Tsushima. They talk about the Japanese sellout right there. They talk about how certain places in America and Canada, you can't get it on Amazon because the warehouses are sold out physically of these. So people are resorting to buying them on digital, which doesn't count towards that number. Even in the UK, look at this. This is Amazon UK right now. For £49.99. I think that's probably roughly about 60 US dollars. Only one left in stock. Only one left in stock in the UK right now. This game is selling like crazy everywhere. Everywhere. It's not just Japan. It is everywhere. So when you look at this 2.4 million copies, it could be a lot higher, and it will likely continue to grow as the demand for this game is still there. I'm really excited to see what the drop-off is week to week, if they're going to be able to produce enough to actually, to make sure that it doesn't have a big drop-off. I don't know. Nobody thought that this game was going to do what it's done, and it hasn't stopped the criticism, though. Kotaku has this article out, Ghost of Tsushima, Kurosawa, and the political myth of the samurai, unpacking the baggage of well-intentioned homage. Now, this article is extremely long and basically talks about imperialism and insults certain members of the Japanese society, talking about imperialism, talking about alt-right politics, things like that. Essentially trying to say that Ghost of Tsushima did a really bad job of portraying the samurais, and they didn't really take into consideration how people felt. They feel like maybe it wasn't exactly intended to inspire Japanese nationalism, but that's what it's done. There are a lot of people out there, for some reason, that are extremely triggered about this game and its depiction of samurais, but like we said, it doesn't seem like Japan has a problem with that. The Japanese critics absolutely love this game. The Japanese audience love this game. It shattered records in Japan. They cannot get enough. It's sold out in Japan. The Japanese people love this game. Everybody everywhere loves this game. Now, when I'm playing through it, when I'm playing it, I don't think there's anything it does that's like revolutionary. But the things it does do, it just does really, really well. It's hard to explain. It is a game that borrows things from several other games, but that's not a problem. The things it borrows are great things. When it takes things from The Witcher, when it takes things from the Assassin's Creed games, when it takes things from Red Dead Redemption, and it combines them, it gives you an incredible experience. It does it so well, and I'm so happy for Ghost of Tsushima and for Sucker Punch and for fans who maybe were really disappointed in what they got a month ago with The Last of Us Part 2 are going out in droves to buy this game. I can't wait to see what other records it continues to break, because it is very deserving. And the hit pieces from Kotaku trying to trash the Japanese people for accepting and liking this game, trying to say that you don't understand what it's about, talking about imperialism in 1940s Japan. People just love playing this game because it's a great, fun game. Bottom line, they're not looking for any messaging. They're not looking for any of that crap, and it wasn't made with that in mind. That's why it's being successful. Everyone should take note of why this game has been a success, because they don't try to preach to you. They just try to give you an immersive, fun experience. And that's what we're all looking for in games, and something we're not really getting all too often, unfortunately. Let me know your thoughts about all this in the comments below. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I will talk to you later.
First, I'll drive the Mongols from our home. After that, I'll worry about curses.
Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.